stops whittling on a piece of wood. I got a feeling when he stops whittling, something's gonna happen.
That was a clip from Once Upon a Time in the West. Um, Years ago, I always loved this film. I always thought it was really, really good. One of the best, probably the best Western, in my opinion, ever made. Um, and to the credit of Henry Fonda and Charles Bronson more than anything else, because they were just electric on the screen. And it was, most of the stuff was just in their faces, without the dialogue, pretty much. So you got a real sense of the film without even, they didn't have to say anything, but it was only years later when I kind of realized what the film was really about, and it was about money taking over man, and that pull on your heart that it has, money and paper and stuff like that, that it would have such a pull over you that you would no longer be, quote unquote, a man, right? So so that clip that I just showed there on the screen was, for me, it kind of like summed it up. It summed up, just to give it a tiny bit of backstory in the film, Charles Bronson's character is out for revenge for what he done, for what Henry Fonda done to him and his brother years earlier in flashbacks. So it's a revenge story, but still at the same time, which is the point what I want to get at with this clip, is that he still had respect for him, and because he was a man, he'd have more respect for him than he would of any of these whinging, complaining men that have no substance, that have nothing going on with them. Even though he was a killer and a brute and all the rest of it, he was still a man. So when he said to him at the end, he said to him, Henry Fonda's character said to Charles Bronson, he said, his name was Morton, but we'll just call him a businessman. A businessman once told me I could never be like him. And now I understand why. Because it wouldn't have bothered him that he was out there. All right, there's someone at the door there. 1 second, I have to stop this. All right, I'm going to join this on from the last, because someone knocked on the door and I had to talk to the landlord just for a few minutes. So anyway, yeah. So he said, you found out you're not a businessman after all, and he said, no, just a man. I'm not sure what the last part was now, if I missed a part out or not, I'm not sure. But, that's what they've done to us, though, to a certain point. That's what they've really done to us. They've taken away, we've allowed them as well. It's not just them, but they've taken away our dignity. That's why he had more respect for the guy that he was ultimately going to kill in the end, because of the revenge part of the film. But you could still sense through it that he had respect for him because he was a man, the same as Charles Bronson's character was a man. All right, and because a man, to a certain point, is very hard and very soft at the same time, as he's a stoic creature by nature, and hard and soft at the same time. Where it's needed, you know, and and money is not a problem, man. It is not a problem. It's the pull it has over you. You know, even just a segue there back into what I was just talking to the landlord, and you can tell that he wants more money, and I just said, like, that's, I'll give this amount and that's it. And I have not really any way of I'm not really bothered by it. This is what I can afford and that's it. And but I could still tell the other guy has a pull over him. Like, it matters. An extra couple of quid matters to him, even though it's more than what he needs and what it's worth anyway. So the problem is not money. The problem is that it's taken over our dignity, we've allowed it to take over our stoic, hard, and soft side. And because ultimately, we're men first. Money is not up front. So once it overtakes you, you haven't any more dignity left. Not really. You're a bitch. You're a fucking whore. You're a fucking bitch. You're another corporate money grabbing fucking whore. And that's really what it comes down to. So I wanted to show that clip in the film because it highlights it very well, what it means to be a man, I guess. And so segue back to what he said. He said that other businessmen will be along and they'll kill it off. And that's what's happened to us. That's what's happened to us. We've got the horse before the cart with everything, and money is just a tool. It's to be used. I'm not very good with it, but still at the same time, it hasn't got much of a pull over me. Even it has a little bit, I won't lie, but not that much, because ultimately, it's not really. It's not. It's not that important in the scheme of things. Adios.